All right, we are here. This is going to be video part number 1 for pooping reindeer. So I'm down here, I'm showing you the back end computer work for the pooping reindeer. This is what the CNC is going to cut out for you. You have to do some prep work in order to get here. I'll show you that in part 2, but for now, this is where we're headed. Right here at the top is a picture of the assembled pooping reindeer. You can see this part will slide back and forth. When you nod the head up and down, it slides this. There's a compartment right here with all the M&Ms in it. This gravity helps them fall down this little chamber, and this slides up, and they fall out the back. Okay, so that's where we're headed. These are all the parts that the CNC is going to cut out for you. So this is a front body, back body, that's the head. I don't remember what I called those parts. I know this one is the lid, this one's the tail, antlers, antlers. I'm going to group all of these together. And then there's these little tiny reference holes here, and here, and here, and here, and here. These are important for later. Those are already grouped together. So I'm going to I'll show you the outside profile first. Well, let's make sure our material is all set up first. The piece of material you need to glue up needs to be at least 16 inches wide against the grain, 20 inches long with the grain. And then you need to plane and drum sand it down to exactly 0.75 inches thick, or 3/4 of an inch. Not like, oh, I accidentally planed it to 0.72. Oops. Or, oh, I was just being lazy. I went to 0.78. No, it needs to be 0.75 plus or minus 100ths of an inch, because it will affect it later. All right. I'm going to grab all these parts and not the little reference holes. And I'm going to tell the CNC to profile the outside, and I want to cut exactly 0.75 inches deep. And I'm going to use the 1/4 inch end mill, and I want to do this in 3 passes. Each part it's going to go through and it's going to cut out a 1/4 inch deep, then it'll come back, cut 1/2 inch deep, come back, cut the rest of the way through, so 3/4 deep. 3 passes to cut out every single part. All right, let's look at this. This is all stuff you don't need to know about. I need to add tabs. These are so when this body is on its very last pass, it's done cutting out, it doesn't just fall apart and rattle in the hole opening. It's actually held in by these little tabs. All the tab placement looks okay, so I'm just going to hit calculate, and let's preview this and see what it does. Let's slow down the preview. 3 passes, 3 passes, 3 passes on all the parts. And these, right, still thinking, these right here are the little tabs that's going to hold in the part from rattling around in the opening. So as the bit raises up and out of this opening on the last pass, this part's not loose and won't hit against the bit and ruin it. So that is what this first one will do. Let's see how long that'll take. That'll take 13 minutes to cut out. These are all old ones. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. Okay. Now let me go back to the other view. I'm going to grab just the little reference holes. I'm going to say, all right, we just want you to put a little tiny dent in the wood so that later we can use the drill bit and drill all the way through. But this reference mark will show us where we are going to guess, or not where we're going to guess, where we're going to drill. Instead of guessing, we'll use this little reference mark. You'll see it in the preview here in a second. I'm going to change to a sharper, pointier bit so the hole is more pronounced. And I'm going to calculate that. Reset the preview. And these little red lines are showing you, okay, the CNC is going to travel here, put a little dent in the wood, travel up here, put a little dent in the wood, travel over, dent here, dent. Anyways, I'm going to slow this way down and reset preview. Let's just preview the little, oh, I previewed all of them. All right, we're going to see them all again. So see this little reference hole here, this little reference hole here, reference hole, reference hole. Let's go back to this view up here. These little reference holes are where there's going to be little tiny metal rods going through, because that's a pivot point where the head's going to pivot. This is a pivot point where the lid's going to open. This is a pivot point so that this rod can push back and forth. Okay, so let's save these files. Well, how long is that? So the little reference marks can take 46 seconds with the 60-degree bit. This one's going to take 13 minutes with the 1/4-inch end mill. So let's save this tool path. We got to go down and find our CNC, Laguna IQ handheld control, and first one it's going to save is the 60-degree bit. So I'm going to say 60, let's call it 60 poop. Yeah, I want to replace it because there's an old one on here. And then I'm going to switch and I'm going to say 1/4-inch end mill. So 1/4-inch written in decimal is 0.25. 1/4-inch end mill is going to do the outside profile. So I'm going to say 25 poop. Save. And we are ready to cut this out.